Kony 2012 is a complete and total fraud. I've studied it now for 5 days. It is nothing but a war propaganda piece to promote to the West the idea of humanitarian war all over Africa, just like we just saw in Libya, that's now in flames and at least 40,000 dead and ethnic cleansing of the black Libyans. And I'm going to get to that in a moment. But first off, I want to talk about Angelina Jolie. What a disgrace. I have held my tongue on her for years. I have watched her work at the UN, pose as a humanitarian philanthropist. I've watched her work at the Council on Foreign Relations. And you can just search Angelina Jolie, CFR, Angelina Jolie, UN, and read it for yourself. She promoted the Libyan invasion as humanitarian and said it wasn't a war. 40,000+ dead. The Al-Qaeda groups that the West brought in through NATO are killing the blacks. She's out promoting that. She's putting movies out about how great the UN attack on Serbia was. Both sides were wrong in that, but it was about the UN destroying a sovereign country. She's got a film coming out about how great that is. She's promoting a Syrian war attack. Look it up. Just type in Angelina Jolie promotes Syrian invasion. It's disgusting, and she's like this emaciated vampire woman that everybody says is so beautiful. She's like this ring wraith of the system out there promoting that it's loving and liberal to have these wars. And now she says, get in there and get Kony, the good UN, the International Criminal Court, get him. That's what this whole Kony movie is about. It's about selling the UN as the good guys who've been caught committing genocide all over the world, from Haiti to Rwanda, and then always saying, oops, we made a mistake. They're there to kill people and kick them off their land for their resources. Look it up. She works at the CFR, whose stated goal is global government and genocide against the third world. She promotes carbon taxes that will cut off the resources to the third world, but they pose as these philanthropists. And you see Kony 2012 being funded by Bill Gates. He's in it, an open eugenicist who says reduce population, but they sell it as if he's this big humanitarian. I want to say something right here. We've had enough of these wars. 1 million dead Iraqis, tens of thousands of dead in Afghanistan, all for peace. We've seen 40,000+ dead in Libya. We see Al-Qaeda and others being brought in by the West to attack the population of Syria, and it's all called humanitarian over and over and over again. Angelina Jolie, you may just be a useful idiot, but that doesn't matter. You are aiding and abetting corrupt corporate interests that control our government and use its military to expand their empire and steal resources. The West openly wants to invade Uganda and the Congo. They've openly have that on the books. The West openly, and the corporate interests that control it, are saying they want to dominate all these areas. And Kony hadn't been seen in years. He's a tiny, nobody warlord. There's hundreds of them in Africa. He controls an area, though, that's on 700 million barrels of oil and a bunch of rare earth minerals. And he's a pretext. They're comparing him to Hitler and bin Laden. So he's this new boogeyman, and here's Angelina Jolie coming out and saying we need to go in there and go after him, and the UN are the good guys. This is doing nothing but selling genocide and invasion. So I'm saying it. The blood is already on your hands, Jolie, for pushing the Libya invasion, the new war in Syria, all of it. You are a disgrace and a danger to humanity, and nothing but a globalist whore that they push out there to sell everybody on the celebrity and the idea that it's liberal and trendy. And you need to be held accountable for this new genocide that's being set up in Central Africa. And when it all unfolds, if you're successful, I want everybody to know what you really are, a monster. Now, you may just be a useful idiot, but I doubt it. You look like a cunning vampire or something, and you make me sick. You look like a reanimated corpse. But I don't go off how you look. It's how you act and how you behave. You're a disgrace. And adopting all these kids, you look like a loving mother. You are nothing but a globalist whore, and you need to be arrested. You need to be brought to justice, along with all the other war criminals that are supporting these invasions and selling it as humanitarian. And that's all this Kony garbage is. Bottom line, it's funded by the globalists, the big foundations. It's there to sell this idea of war and invasion and get all the anti-war left into this new humanitarian intervention, proxy war garbage. You guys are launching more wars than George W. Bush ever did, and are so sick you lecture us how it's humanitarian. The blood of the Libyans is on your hands. Angelina Jolie, UN, NATO, the rest of you. The blood of the Syrians is on your hands. And all these UN massacres that you're now supporting and pushing the ICC and trying to legitimize global government, it's on your hands. The only chance you've got is to repent and go public and say that you were wrong and that these humanitarian wars are out of control. But instead, when I was looking up your quotes this morning, you're calling these humanitarian interventions good and saying that we need to see more of them. It's disgusting. This Coney 2012 garbage is imploding. The hoax is imploding because people are wise to this garbage. How do you think the empire is going to launch wars? Lies about WMDs, Saddam beating the brains out of babies in incubators, Libyan rape gangs fueled by Viagra, all lies. And that's what this Coney garbage is, and that's what you are, Jolie, and all the rest of the scum that serves you, and all the rest of the so-called left in Hollywood that are promoting this. You deserve to be arrested. You are a greater threat than some little minor thug warlord who's probably dead, Joseph Coney. You're a danger and a threat to humanity, and you're helping commit crimes against humanity by your propaganda war, your psyop. I'll have more reports on the radio about this, but I want this message to go to Jolie and all the other corporate whores, that the American people, the people of the world, and the people of Africa are waking up to you and aren't buying your garbage. We know who you are.